You ever wonder why we act the way we do with our money? Well, it turns out there's this kind of secret code that explains pretty much all of our economic behavior. It predicts everything from what we buy to how businesses operate. And today, we're going to crack it.
All right, let's jump right in with a little puzzle. Imagine two massive sales, okay? Both are offering a huge 50% discount. One is for a new TV, and yeah, people are lining up around the block. It's a frenzy. Then you've got the other sale, for table salt. You might see it and think, that's a good deal, and maybe you'll grab an extra shaker. But that's it. No frenzy. Same discount, but completely different reactions.
So, why does the price drop on one thing cause a stampede, while the exact same discount on another barely gets a shrug? That is the big question we're decoding today.
And the answer, believe it or not, comes down to one single powerful concept in economics. It acts like a ruler, measuring exactly how responsive we are. It's called elasticity. The easiest way to think about elasticity is to picture a rubber band. Some of our economic behaviors are super stretchy and responsive. We call that elastic. Others are really stiff and barely change at all, and that's inelastic. Really, all it is a way to measure how much one thing changes when some other factor, like price or our income, changes too.
So let's start cracking this code by looking at the biggest factor of all, price. How do price changes affect what we do as buyers and what businesses do as sellers?
Let's start with us, the consumers. So imagine the price of your daily coffee suddenly doubled overnight. Would you stop buying it, find a cheaper alternative, or would you just grumble and pay up? How much you change your routine? Well, that's exactly what economists want to measure.
And the specific tool they use for this is called the Price Elasticity of Demand, or PED for short. This is the first and maybe the most important key to our code. It literally puts a number on how stretchy our demand for something is when the price tag changes.
So how do you read that number? It's actually pretty simple. If the PED value is greater than 1, demand is elastic. That means we're very responsive. A small price change will cause a big shift in how much we buy. But if it's less than 1, demand is inelastic. We're unresponsive. The price can change a lot, and we pretty much keep buying the same amount.
Okay, so what makes something one or the other? Well, it usually comes down to a few key things. First, are there good substitutes? If the price of Pepsi goes up, you can just switch to Coke. That's elastic. Second, is it a necessity? You probably need gasoline to get to work, so your demand is pretty inelastic, at least in the short term, no matter what the price is. It really just boils down to your options and your needs.
Here's a perfect real-world example. Let's say a 10% price hike for movie tickets causes a big 20% drop in the number of people going. The math is simple. You just take the percentage change in demand, which is minus 20, and divide it by the percentage change in price, which is plus 10. That gives us negative 2. And since the absolute value, 2, is greater than 1, we know demand for movie tickets is elastic. We're very sensitive to that price.
Okay, so that's us, the buyers. But let's flip the coin and look at the sellers. If the price of a product suddenly skyrockets, how fast can a company actually make more of it to cash in? Well, this is measured by the Price Elasticity of Supply, or PES. It's basically the producer's version of that rubber band. How stretchy is their ability to supply more of something when the price gets more and more attractive?
And a lot of the time, the biggest factor here is just time. Take a farmer, for instance. If the price of wheat shoots up today, they can't magically grow another harvest tomorrow, right? Their supply is inelastic. It's stiff in the short run because production just takes time. But price isn't the only thing pulling the strings. The code is actually a bit more complex than that. So now let's look at some other forces, like our own income, and how the prices of other products can affect our decisions.
This is a question we can all relate to. When you get a raise, what's the first thing you start buying more of? And on the flip side, if your income drops, what's the first thing you cut back on? This relationship is another huge part of the code.
And economists have a name for it, of course. It's called the Income Elasticity of Demand, or YED. And it just measures how much our demand for something stretches or shrinks when our paycheck changes.
This chart shows exactly how it works. For what economists call inferior goods, like bus travel, when our income goes up, our demand for it might actually go down. For normal goods, like bread, we'll buy a little more as our income rises. But for luxury goods, like air travel, a pay raise can cause our demand to absolutely soar.
Okay, we're at the final piece of the code. The thing is, we don't make buying decisions in a vacuum. The price of one product can have a massive ripple effect on the sales of something completely different.
This is measured with cross-price elasticity of demand, or XED. And it's all about figuring out the relationship between two different products. Are they rivals or are they partners?
And this slide lays it out perfectly. If the XED number is positive, the goods are substitutes. When the price of Pepsi goes up, demand for Coke goes up too. Easy. But if the XED is negative, they're complements. They go together. So if the price of printers goes up, demand for ink cartridges goes down because fewer people are buying the printers to begin with.
So we have all the keys to the code: PED, PS, YED, and XED. But this isn't just theory for a textbook. Let's take a look at how this code is actively being used right now to shape policy, business strategy, and pretty much our entire world. And make no mistake about it, this isn't just academic. Every single time you see a new tax, a flash sale, or an airline's surge pricing on a holiday weekend, you can bet that someone, somewhere, has used this elasticity code to predict exactly how you and millions of other people are going to react.
Let's look at a classic example: taxes on gasoline. Why are they so common all over the world? Well, it's a simple three-step process. Step 1, a government finds a product with very inelastic demand, like gasoline. Step 2, they slap a tax on it. Step 3, because our demand is inelastic, we don't really cut back on our driving. We just grumble and pay the higher price. And the result for them? A steady, predictable river of tax revenue. Businesses do the same thing. They know demand for a concert ticket is inelastic right before the show, so they can charge way more knowing the die-hard fans will pay it.
So now that you know the code, I'll leave you with a final thought. Take a look at your own spending habits. What is one product that, for you, is almost perfectly inelastic? Something you'd probably keep buying no matter how high the price went. Your answer to that, well, it reveals a whole lot about what you truly value.